Welcome to Off Brand by CocoKind. I'm Priscilla Tsai, CocoKind's founder and CEO, and each week I get into the real, unfiltered side of building a brand alongside our community and creating substantive beauty products. We don't believe in trying to be anyone but ourselves, and we don't think you should either. So come along as we get real and imperfect, go deeper on topics most beauty companies won't, and get a bit off brand. Hi everyone, welcome back to Off Brand by CocoKind. I am very, very excited today because we have a new product to talk about. This is our Hydrating Electrolyte Rescue Serum, or if you work on the CocoKind team, you'll know it as hers. Fun fact, we abbreviate everything. We never ever call a product its actual full product name. We always use like the first letter of each word in a product name. And for Hydrating Electrolyte Rescue Serum, it is called hers internally. So that's hers. Electrolyte Water Cream is EWC. Calming Magnesium Mist is CMM. Revitalizing Eye Cream is REC. Like everything is always about the acronym. So Hydrating Electrolyte Rescue Serum, also known as hers, this is new. And we are so excited to launch this. We've been working on it for a while. And we always knew that we were going to do a serum in this family, but it took us a while to figure out like exactly what concept. At one point we were thinking it would be more of like an aging skin focus. And then we got some feedback from our community. We got some feedback from our PD consultants, and we got some ideas of like, well, you know what? People love the electrolyte franchise for hydration, of course, but also calming and redness, especially for those who have sensitive skin. And we also really thought about the fact that like our water cream is a lightweight gel cream. So not everybody will use that. It's certainly very, very loved by many, many, many. It's our bestseller right now. But some people might want a version of that that's maybe like got harder hitting active ingredients when it comes to hydration, and put it in a serum that everybody can use no matter what their skin type is. So you might be using a rich cream after this, or you might use our electrolyte water cream, or you might use nothing at all. But no matter where you fit in the range of skin types, the electrolyte rescue serum is actually suitable for you if you want that hydration. So that's where we were like, okay, the benefit should actually be continuing our benefits of our line right now, but in a serum that really everyone can use no matter what skin type they have. So that was really where the concept of our Hydrating Electrolyte Rescue Serum started, but it took many different turns along the way, as does every single product during our product development journey. And I have my notes here because we really just were super intentional about how we developed this product. There were things that we had tried that didn't work. There are certain decisions that we made along the way. So I wanted to make sure to call out a few things here today. So one of the first things that I'll talk about, obviously, has to be the formula, right? Like the formula is where we put most of our time and expertise, is really thinking about like how are we making the best formula for people. And for this product in particular, we had this observation. We're looking at serums out there in the market. We're like, man, why is everything so sticky right now? Why is everything trying to be so interesting when it comes to texture, but almost like too interesting? We felt like, especially over the past 24 months, there's been such a focus from the beauty industry and brands on creating products that look viral. They have that like certain aesthetic element to them, that it looks weird or it looks interesting so that it can get viral, it could get a lot of attention. And while we're not hating on going viral, because obviously as a brand that's amazing, but we want to go viral for the right reasons. And we're not going to develop a product just so it looks like it can go viral. We want to develop a product that goes viral because that's how good it is. And I think that's a really big distinction, because of course we want as much exposure as possible. We send out our products to so many people in our community. We would love for them to get views. We would love for you all to get views as you talk about this product, but we want you to get views when you talk about how good it is, not necessarily in how like weird or unique or different different the texture is. And that's so much of how innovation in this industry has trended. It's just like, look at this like crazy texture, look at this unique texture. And that's really not our thing. And by the way, so many of those like really unique textures, like the whipped and the mousses and the puddings and the whatever bouncy creams, like the jello, whatever, skin tints, like they are really focusing the formula on the stability of that formula, that stability of that texture. It takes a lot to make sure that that holds. Whereas for us, we're focusing our formula on performance, on skin more than anything. So that was one of our first observations. Like, if we're going to do a serum, let's not fall into the trap of trying to do the same old thing that everybody's doing, where it's like very sticky looking or very jello like or whatever it is. Like, can we just prioritize user experience? Can we just prioritize a serum that like maybe is kind of boring in the way that it looks, but feels really amazing and feels like, oh, I could easily use this AM and PM because it hydrates my skin really deeply, but it feels amazing. That's what we wanted to prioritize more than anything. And that is a lot about what we're going to be talking about with this product is actually the ingredients, actually the formula, actually how we made the user experience and what we were intending to do. So, that was kind of like a big aha moment for us actually was like, let's just not try to do too much when it comes to the texture. Let's just make it a really, really enjoyable texture. Part of that is also having these really hydrating ingredients. So we have this 11% hydration complex and it is really, really packed. So let me read off to you what it includes because it includes quite a lot here. So we have in this 11%, we have 5 weights of hyaluronic acid. Okay. 5 weights because you want it delivering in different weights. There's pros and cons to all the different weights of hyaluronic acid. So a blend is how we feel like is like the best outcome. Of course, our electrolytes. We have polyglutamic acid, which is new to us, beta glucan, glycerin, and snow mushroom. And our 11% hydration complex is really what is delivering that like outsized hydration that's like hitting different levels. It's like bringing hydration into your skin, but it's also locking it in. Because for us, like historically, I've always been a little bit of a disbeliever when it comes to like single ingredient type of products. And so when I've seen things like hyaluronic acid serums, and that's it, that's like the one ingredient, and then they just have water and preservatives in it. Like, to me, I'm like, why would you buy that? Because you are bringing in moisture, yes, but you're also not locking it in. And just generally, hydration serums can and should do so much more. It's not just about bringing water in, but if you don't like seal it there and you're not like delivering it in multiple levels, it's not doing as much as you think it is. And you can just get that hyaluronic acid in another format. Like you can put it in a cream and you can get that benefit. So if you're really talking about a hydration serum, for us, it was important to deliver hydration, all types of hydration, all suitable for sensitive skin, of course, delivering it in different ways to really increase your natural moisturizing factor in your skin and then lock it in so it's not like evaporating. I'm somebody who deals with a lot of trans epidermal water loss. And so having the hydration serum actually deliver hydration and then keep it in is like half the battle, right? So if you're just delivering those humectants like hyaluronic acid on its own, it's not enough. You have to have more. So our challenge was we had this like 11% hydration complex. And having that be in here where it's not going to be sticky, it's also not going to pill. That was our biggest challenge because we knew that for our user experience, we need to absolutely, for our skin, deliver hydration and real hydration, lasting hydration. But we also want it to be something that was just a joy, like a really enjoyable experience to put on every day. And you don't have to think too hard about it. We didn't want it to be like, oh, I can't use it with this because it'll pill, or oh, it feels too sticky, so I don't want to use this during the day. I want to layer on top of it, right? Like we wanted it to be as simple as possible and it can't have those certain ingredients that would then interact with another product in your routine that would then pill or whatever. That was our biggest hurdle because a lot of hydration ingredients, they can pill really easily. Actually, people don't realize this, but hyaluronic acid on its own is one of the most likely to pill type of ingredients. And because there's different weights of it, so it depends on where it's sitting on your skin too. But that was something where we had to play around with the levels to make sure that we were getting it right and make sure that it wasn't too sticky. Because for us, like speaking as someone who has like very acne prone skin, I am very sensitive to stickiness. And I know a lot of people love their sticky serums, especially if you're putting makeup over them. But there's some of us, especially those of sensitive, like acne prone or oily skin, like stickiness just makes me feel like I'm breaking out. Personally, I don't want my serums to be overly sticky. I can appreciate if they have a little bit of that tech, but I don't want it to be overly sticky. So, and we've actually seen that in our products. Like our stickiest product is probably our chlorophyll discoloration serum, and I think that that product works for certain types of people who are layering so much that they actually don't mind that stickiness. But we have seen people be sensitive to that. So for this serum, sticky is not the first thing we want you to think of when you think about the user experience here. We want it to feel like it's like melting into your skin. We also want it to not pill as you layer. You might put on an electrolyte water cream on this, or you might use a richer cream too over it. Like I will put RPC, our resurrection polypeptide cream. See, there you go with the acronyms. We want no matter what you put on afterwards for it to feel like it works in your routine. And it should really be that like everyday powerhouse hydration serum for you. So that was our biggest hurdle when it came to formulating this product is kind of achieving all these things while formulating with electrolytes, which are very tricky to formulate with, while not pilling and while kind of having the thickeners in here to hold this emulsion together without it being sticky or pill. So that was one of our biggest points of like, we have to achieve this. And if we don't achieve this, we're not going to create it. Some other decisions that I wanted to make sure to go through with you is our pump packaging. I know I just talked a lot about formula, but packaging has been something that we have been learning a lot about in the past couple of years. And I did a TikTok on this recently because if you asked me like 4 years ago, I would have been like, oh, we don't spend on packaging, we only spend on formula. And while it's definitely still true that we way outsize our investment inside the bottle than on the packaging itself, which is not always true because a lot of brands will actually spend more on packaging than on the actual formula. We spend way more inside the bottle. What we realized over time is like we still have to be very thoughtful and considerate and almost like exacting, like very critical about packaging because that impacts the user experience so much. So, a lot of you might know our serums and you know that historically we've used droppers. For this, we actually changed this so that it is a pump. This is our first serum with pump packaging. And I think it was so much of the feedback that we got with electrolyte water cream where people love the pump, but also the negative feedback that we got with our other serums of people being like, can you change this from a dropper to a pump? That we realized like for this serum, we're going to keep the glass bottle and we're still investing way more inside the bottle, but we are going to invest in this pump experience, which generally is more expensive than our glass and dropper serum packaging from before. So we hope you love this because the pump, I believe it makes it so much more easy to use. Like I could just grab it, pump it, that's it, versus having to deal with the whole dropper and then putting the cap and screwing it back on, right? Like we want it to be a very easy user experience. So that's why we decided to go with the pump. So I'm curious what you all think of this. And as you experience that, what you will say. I think there will be some of you who want us to change our other serums to this packaging, which may be in the works. We're just going to have to evaluate and we want to see your feedback first. It's a heavier bottle because it's still glass. And so you're still going to have that like substance behind it. So that was a really big deal. And then one of the other things I wanted to talk about with our serum today was our actual price point for this. So this is priced at $18. This is our cheapest serum. Is it our cheapest product to make? Absolutely not. But we really wanted hydration. I feel like hydration is something that like everyone should have in their routine and it shouldn't cost that much. And so we were really trying to be critical with like what we're pricing this at. Of course, our ingredients are quite expensive and our formula is always expensive comparative to our entire costs of our product. But we wanted to push ourselves to make it as affordable as possible. And one thing that we did, which is very different from most serums and most brands, typically, you will notice that serums for brands are more expensive than their moisturizers, despite the fact that serums are actually much smaller than moisturizers. So, as an example, our electrolyte water cream, it's 1.7 fluid ounces. This is 1 ounce. Our electrolyte water cream is $20. This is $18. If we followed what most brands do, this serum, we felt like we could have priced it above our electrolyte water cream because there are more hydration actives in this bottle than our electrolyte water cream. But we also looked at just the actual cost of our product and we were like, let's not price something based on normal serum prices. Let's price it based on our actual costs. And the reality is that this product is 1 ounce. Our electrolyte water cream is 1.7 ounce. So even though the formula per ounce is more expensive by a lot for this formula than our electrolyte water cream, this is still 1 ounce versus 1.7 ounce for electrolyte water cream. So we actually do have the room to price this lower than a moisturizer. It was very intentional for us to look at it and be like, well, what do we feel like is a competitive, good price for the customer, not like what we can charge, I guess, compared to other serums. That was really important for us. So that's why we actually are pricing this in the teens, which we have not done before with our serums. And we're excited about that because I think it's just like more inviting for more people to come into this product and get to try it because we really do see this as like a universal hydration serum for all different types of skin types. Of course, and I want to get into this because we do have really amazing clinicals and consumer study results. But we do see that the most benefit, people who are going to love this the most, are generally people who are like sensitive, maybe dealing with some redness. That I feel like is a through line with our electrolyte water cream or our electrolyte franchise is really like people who just want something that's very calming and soothing and of course hydrating. So of course we did consumer testing. We actually did two types of consumer testing. We did our own. We also did an external third party one. We also did clinical testing for this. So I have some of these clinical study results that I wanted to share with you guys. We did not only our own consumer tests, we did third party consumer tests, and then we also did clinicals too. But I want to read to you some of these results. After 2 weeks, a third party consumer test of 35 participants, 100% agreed skin felt more hydrated and immediately after applying the serum. After 24 hours, 100% agreed skin looked more hydrated, 100% agreed skin looked calmer, 100% agreed skin felt softer, and after 2 weeks, 94% said the skin helped improve skin sensitivity, which is really important, and 100% said the serum did not cause any breakouts. And in our own consumer tests, out of 35 people, only one person said they had any version or semblance of pilling, which for serums is a really, really impressive result. So we felt like when we got these, we were kind of holding our breath for these results. When we got these results, we were so happy because it really was like exactly what we intended it to be. We want it to be that product that helps your sensitivity while also soothing and calming your skin, making you feel hydrated and softer, and just being overall like an amazing experience to apply. Kudos to our product development team for really nailing it with the actual results, not just the user experience, but the results that these ingredients are actually delivering for our skin. So our product here is actually rolling out at Ulta all throughout June. It's going to be then rolling out to Target in August. Of course, it's on our website too. We are so curious what your thoughts are. And if there are any particular points that you want me to go a little bit deeper in, whether in a future podcast or at our TikToks or our Instagram, let us know because we definitely will do a lot of deep dives here. At some point, we're going to do a little bit of like making of in our lab of like actually showing you how this gets made. But it really is a powerhouse hydration serum that we are really intentional about like what experience we are delivering. It's not gimmicky, like this isn't about the marketing behind it or the gimmicks behind it. It's just about delivering something that is really, really, really good at a strong price. So we hope that you feel like that's what we're delivering. I'm going to be holding my breath until you tell us that. So, of course, for those of you who are trying this, thank you so much for giving it a shot. We can't wait to hear your feedback. And let me know if there are any specific elements of this product that you want me to dive a little bit deeper into. So, happy launch to us. This is our Hydrating Electrolyte Rescue Serum. We hope you love it.